So, boss, there's a game at home to Cambridge United tomorrow. Obviously, a very different side to the one we faced back in December. What can you expect from them tomorrow?
They obviously been through a managerial change. I know Mark Bonner fairly well. We've sort of grown up coaching teams against each other at Cambridge and Southend over the years. So it'd be interesting that we both found ourselves in the situations and the roles that we're both in at the moment. So that'd be an interesting thing from our perspectives. But I think they're a team that have looked very, very well organised of late. It appears to me that the focus, or there's been a turn on the focus towards being harder for them to be beaten. They picked up some good results off the back of it. I think it's certainly something at this level that if you don't give up many chances and you're tough to play against, you're always in the game. As obvious as that sounds, but I think their form of late has reflected that really well. So we know that it's going to be a tough occasion. We know that it's going to be a difficult game for us, as it was when we went there. We were very, very good in the first half and took our opportunities or our chances really well at important times and got ourselves ahead and never built on that in the second half. So I think you're right in saying it'll be a very difficult game, but one we're looking forward to.
In terms of obviously home form is something that's seen a massive improvement recently and unbeaten in 6. I guess for you and the squad, the focus now is just to keep that going, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely, and improve it. I think we spent a lot of time this year, certainly for myself, explaining the fact that we weren't picking up results and weren't putting in the types of performances over a 90-minute period that we were all aspiring to and that we wanted to. And in recent times we've sort of found our way and found our feet a little bit more, and I feel that at times been a tougher nut to crack at home. We gave away too many goals and easy opportunities earlier in the season, and I feel we've got better at that. Obviously it goes without saying that we want to continue to strive to improve, but it's a record we're proud of at the moment and one we want to continue.
In terms of the last games, obviously 2 weeks ago tomorrow, it's quite unusual we get that kind of break in the middle of the season as it is. How have you kind of prepared the team and kind of carried them through the unusual situation?
Yeah, it's a little bit surreal, I think, because sometimes you sort of cry out for a little bit of breathing space during a season, and it's been we didn't know we were getting it. I think if you look at like FA Cup weekends when you know your opposition are playing, it's a bit of a thing that you can prepare for. But we obviously went as a normal week into the Forest Green game and then had it cancelled late on. But I think it's been a bit of a makeshift period for us. We haven't trained on our training pitches for nearly 2 weeks now. So we've been juggling where we train and what we do. But obviously, like I said, we were forced into doing that on Saturday. We put together, Mike Cooper, the fitness coach, put together a real extensive day of work for the lads that was really good for them and their physical outcomes on the day, to replace the fact that we hadn't played a game, but at the same time for the camaraderie of the group and that real sort of day of hard work. It turned out to be a real good session filler, if you like, because there's nothing like playing a game. But then what that did was it gave us a bit fresher legs to go into this week in terms of the type of work that we wanted to put in. Again, disrupted by the weather, but I feel as though we've made the best of the difficult circumstances and we go into the game well prepared.
We spoke about fresher legs there. Is any news in terms of selection and who's available and who might not be available?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wouldn't say exactly who's available and who's likely to be involved, but what it has been is a very good week in terms of a number of people training. I mean, you would have seen today yourself that Joby's out there and he's doing a lot more, which is obviously pleasing in terms of trying to get him back to where we want to see him. I think he's been a player that we've missed extremely, taking nothing away from anybody in the squad, but with someone with such a wealth of experience and drove us on to such high standards last year, you do miss that with Joby. So having him back out there training has just raised the tempo and raised the standards a little bit more, and I think he'll continue to do that the closer he gets and the more able he becomes. So that's been a nice thing to see. Same with Sam Ling. Been out there training again. Louis Dennis has been back in doing a lot of hard work. So we've got a number of players there that we feel are pushing the group, like I say, at different stages. And we'll see how they come through the next few days and in the next week or so as to how close they get to playing in the team.
Reflecting on that 2-2 draw against Oldham, what would you like to see from your team tomorrow that perhaps you didn't see that afternoon?
I felt as though the performance was a comfortable performance in terms of the way that we went out there. Did we pull up any trees and create bundles of chances? No, we didn't. But at the same time, we've come up against a team that were out there to try and make it tough for us on the day. What really disappointed me from that perspective was the goals that we conceded. And I think that's happened too many times this year. I think there's two things that have been our undoing. One is that important stages in games we haven't seen those moments through. We haven't defended our box aggressively enough in order to see out big moments. And then I think at times there's things that I think are prerequisites for playing at the level that we're at, and certainly playing in English football is that set pieces is always a big responsibility on. When you're going to play against a team that are probably not always coming to try and win the game, it's important that you don't give up opportunities. And I felt that getting our noses in front, starting the game really well, we let ourselves down. One, by the timing of the goals that we conceded, and secondly, conceding 2 goals from set pieces. So extremely disappointed, and it's been something that we've obviously really focused on over the last little while because we've got to get better at it.